Today we're going to be talking about 8 tips that all high school quarterbacks need to know. Now, tip number 1 for high school quarterbacks: when you're playing middle school ball, youth ball, you probably didn't have a whole lot of meetings with your team, but when you get to high school, you guys are constantly watching film, having positional player meetings. So what you need to focus on doing is bringing a notebook and a pen to every single meeting, writing down things that coaches say, writing down things that your quarterback coaches say, writing out plays that they might be going over on the whiteboard, on a projector, whatever the case may be. Because guys, when you get to high school, you may not have a set playbook where it's like, oh, play 1, this is the name, and they draw it up for you. They count on you to already know that information, especially if you're an underclassman going up to varsity. They're not going to bring you along and try to explain the playbook with you. Things go very fast. You have a limited amount of time, so it's on you to learn it. So to every single meeting, you guys, you need a pen and a notebook to make sure you're ahead of the offense. Now, tip number 2 for high school quarterbacks: get your offensive coordinator and quarterback coach's number when you first meet them or when you start off-season workouts. Reason for this is so you can actively communicate with them whenever you have questions, and if you guys could be honestly on the same page for certain things, because maybe you're preparing for a team, maybe you're watching film on a team and you have some questions, or there's maybe a play that you like, so you can just shoot them a quick text and have that dialogue. That dialogue will create a better relationship with you two, and you guys will be on the same page so you could have more success on the practice field and on the actual game field. Now also, fellas, we just released the first 3 dates for our next year's 2025 quarterback and wide receiver camp tour. We're going to be coming out to San Francisco, California, then Orlando, Florida, and then Phoenix, Arizona. So guys, if you're local to one of those 3 cities and would like to train with us, check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you out to one of our 2-day-long QB and wide receiver camps. We're giving early access to these first 3 camps because all of our camps this past year sold out within 2 to 3 months of us announcing the dates. We still have 12 more cities that we're going to be coming to and that we're working on, but those 3 dates we're giving you guys early access. So if you guys want to attend, check out that very first link in the description below. Let's get back to this video. Now, tip number 3 that high school quarterbacks need to understand is take care of your offensive line. I remember when I was in high school, I was always offering, at least when I could drive. I'm sure some of you can't drive, but when I could drive, I would give my offensive linemen rides home. I would give guys, rides to different things, different trainings, whatever it is. Anything I could do to help, I would try to do for those offensive linemen, because the more the offensive linemen know that you care about them on, I guess you could say, a personal level, the more they will take care of you on the field. I can't tell you how many guys I see or I hear quarterbacks talking about, oh, my offensive line sucks, oh, this, they never block for me, that. You think the offensive line wants to hear that? They don't want to hear that, you guys. They want nothing but positivity from the quarterback position. Just like how we don't want them to tell us how to throw, we shouldn't be telling them how to do their jobs. You should always be taking care of those guys. Something I always did too as well is anytime I had the opportunity to, or spare money lying around, I would always buy them meals, take them out to dinner, whatever the case may be, because it shows that you care about them on a personal level, and that will make them work harder for you on the field. Now, tip number 4 for high school quarterbacks is to utilize special teams, period. So what do I mean by that? So usually, guys, as quarterbacks, we're not on special teams. We're not on kickoff, not on kickoff return, we're not on field goal, we're not on field goal block, whatever the case may be. So during those periods, you need to find your starting core wide receivers if they're not playing on whatever special team it is, or if they're all playing on the special team that they're on, find the backups, and you need to go down to the opposite end zone, make sure you clear it with your offensive coordinator and your head coach, and work on different red zone, I guess you could say, plays, routes, whatever it is. Because again, guys, that's just chemistry building opportunities. During special teams, you shouldn't just be sitting on the sideline watching around, joking around, whatever the case may be. Utilize those special teams periods. Ask your coaches if you could do something like that, but make sure you're focused down there. Don't be that guy that asks the coach, hey, can we go down there? And then he sees you guys goofing around, because he'll never let you do it again. So utilize those special teams periods, especially if you're on the sideline. Now, the next tip for high school quarterbacks that you need to understand is visualize your practice plan from a week-to-week basis. So let's say, for example, and this is how high school football works, guys. If you're just now entering high school, you usually will have a team that you're playing on a Friday, right? So let's say, you're playing some local team on Sunday or Saturday before that Friday game. You're going to get a bunch of film on that team. And this is what your coaches are going to do. Your coaches are going to sit in the coach's office, watch a bunch of film on that team. And then what they're going to do is they're going to make a practice plan, or I guess you could say a game plan. They're going to come up with all the different plays that they like versus that team's core or top defensive coverages and defensive looks. So let's say they're a team that likes to run a lot of cover 4. They're going to make a plan all structured to help beat cover 4. And those are the plays that you're going to work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, etc. to get you ready for that game. So that practice plan, you guys, usually coaches will give guys a set practice plan. You need to be every night visualizing those plays versus the different coverage looks. That's how I feel in a game. You can be a little bit more calm, focus on your job, and not necessarily let the moment overwhelm you. So I remember what I used to do is I would go into my backyard and I would visualize the coverage. I would close my eyes and visualize. I know it seems a little weird, but I'd visualize the coverage, close my eyes, and I would go through different plays in my head. I would go through, okay, we have a play concept called smash, hitch on the outside corner from the slot. So I'd close my eyes, I'd visualize the read, visualize the footwork, me coming off the first read, and I would go over those things in my head and rep it out. So when I got into a game, I wasn't surprised when I saw a different look. I've been there before, I've seen it before over and over again. I'm almost sick of it, so I just want to get the game over with. And honestly, guys, I think that was one of the best things I did as a player for preparation. Now, tip number 6 for high school quarterbacks is to use quarterback-specific lifts rather than traditional lifts to avoid injury. I can't tell you how many times I've seen a quarterback, like miss a training session with myself or, cancel a camp that we've had because they've hurt themselves doing some type of stupid lift in the gym. As quarterbacks, guys, why are we doing flat bench press? Why are we doing heavy overhead press? Why are we doing curl? Why are we doing these things, guys? They do not apply to the quarterback position in the slightest, so there's no reason that we need to do them. Quarterbacks should be training completely different than every other position on the field. Now, I get it. Some of you are in high school and you may have a strength coach that doesn't let you do quarterback-specific lifts. So what I recommend is don't lift with your ego and try to lift lightweight and focus on form, mobility. Don't be a bro in the gym like a linebacker or a lineman and try to lift all this heavy weight, because you're just going to hurt yourself, guys. You have to keep your throwing shoulder healthy, especially with upper body workouts. I remember there was a time where as a player, I was doing dumbbell chest flies for absolutely no reason, and I went a little bit too wide and I felt a little pop. I don't know if it was a tear or whatever it was, but in my throwing shoulder, and that agony pain still bothers me to this day, by the way, but I have to play through that. I can't take time off because you're a starting quarterback. So guys, I'm telling you right now, don't lift like a bodybuilder. Lift like a quarterback. If you got to do upper body lifts that I personally am not a fan of, just make sure it's light and make sure you're focused on mobility, range of motion, and form. Now guys, if you're a quarterback and you're maybe not sure how to break up different workouts in the off season, check out that second link in the description below for our ultimate quarterback training package. What you'll get access to is 8 weeks of daily quarterback gym exercises and on-field exercises that you can do to help your performance improve. We break it down where it's like Monday you're doing this, Tuesday this. We break down the exact sets and reps, and we give you a video example of each drill and exercise so you're not confused. So guys, if you want an all-access 2-month-long training schedule for QBs, check out that second link in that description below. Now, tip number 7 for high school quarterbacks is to watch 1 hour of film every single day at the minimum. Guys, as a quarterback, you should be watching more film than anybody on your team on any given day. I'll give you an example. I'm sure a lot of you guys use the platform called Huddle. Huddle is what a lot of high school programs, college programs as well use, where they film other practices, they get game film from other teams, they film games, they upload it to Huddle, whatever the case may be, and they use it as a study tool. And I don't know if you guys knew this, but coaches can monitor how many hours a specific player has been watching Huddle. So when you get onto the team's Huddle, they give you an account, I guess you could say, or they give you like a password to log in, you create an account and you make your player account, right? And so they could keep track of how many people are watching film. And guys, I can't tell you this, the quarterback on every single team that I've been a part of, the quarterback on every team that I've coached has always watched the most amount of film, because I've given him this same type of advice that I'm giving you guys. You need to watch the most film possible. You should be watching more film than some of the coaches, to be honest with you, because that's our job. Our job is to know what the defense is doing before they even do it. Our job is to know every single offensive play concept, and every single offensive player's responsibility. And then you learn all of that through film studies. So guys, I'm telling you, maybe if you're not in your season watching this, watch film on YouTube. We have tons of videos on different quarterback mechanical things. We have content on our website for reading defenses. So guys, 1 hour a day minimum of film study. Now, tip number 8 for high school quarterbacks. Now, if you're a high school quarterback watching this, I'm assuming that you probably want to play at the collegiate level. You probably want to be a quarterback for a college team. You have dreams and aspirations of taking your game to the next level. And what college coaches look for in quarterbacks are 4 things. Number 1, accuracy. Number 2, arm strength. Number 3, extend playability. And then last but not least, football IQ and being able to read a defense. So guys, that's what you have to showcase on your highlight tape. Because as a quarterback, there are so many quarterbacks across the country. Every single team has one. And every single quarterback across the country probably throws a decent ball. They probably can put the ball accurately, but that doesn't mean that they have arm strength. That doesn't mean that they have extend playability. That doesn't mean that they could read defenses. There are other things that college coaches look for in that quarterback position. So that's what you want to showcase on film. Nobody wants to see a quarterback stand there in a clean pocket, throw a wide open 12-yard post and watch his receiver go run for 30 yards. That's not a highlight. They want to see a guy stand in the pocket, throw while getting hit, throw with some anticipation, throw a ball on the opposite hash with showcase some arm strength, throw the ball deep downfield, get out of the pocket, roll out and throw on the run. Those are all highlights, and that's what college coaches ultimately look for. They want playmakers at the quarterback position and people who can make throws that thousands of quarterbacks ultimately cannot. Now again, that's at a D1 level. There are plenty of other levels of college football like D1, D2, D3, NAIA, tons of opportunities, you guys, but you've got to make sure that you're standing out somehow on film by emphasizing those 4 key areas.